The thyroid is a completely underrated organ. Before we are entering diabetes already and insulin resistance, which affects everything in your body. People are healthy, they want to stay healthy, and they can do something about them to be longer healthy. How fit do you want to be? What are you willing to invest on time, on effort, on money? It becomes very faceted. World War, German concentration camps with horrible. But the data medically is helpful in certain ways. But luckily, everywhere in medicine is money to be made if you're quite good.
Curiosity is the key to the imagination.
Mike Helfman Podcast, let's do this!
Dream the impossible dream.
Welcome to Mike Helfman's Curiosity Podcast.
We've got Dr. Gabriel Peter Salgo in the house. Thank you for coming.
No, thank you for the invitation.
I would like to give a little introduction to you first. I don't usually do this. I usually let the guests introduce themselves, but you have such an interesting resume that I'd like to read it off, and you tell me if I'm wrong, and please tell me if I'm... So
Well,
you come from 4 generations of medicine. I think that's fascinating. You know, so that goes back to your great-great-great-grandfather.
Grandfather.
And
Was a pharmacist.
wow, so was he like was he bleeding people out from their feet back in the 1600s?
No, already they have been pharmacies around at that time,
Okay.
and that went down. So my cousin is still as a pharmacist, has a chain of pharmacies, not standing and putting anything in there. And actually, my brother is the only one in the family who is not in the medical business. He's an architect.
Wow.
And he's the only one who diagnosed me with Graves' disease.
Oh.
Everybody else was like, oh, what's your problem? My brother is like, you might have Graves' disease.
Wow. Okay. Before we continue with that, can you explain to me what is Graves' disease? Because
Graves' disease is an autoimmune disease
Okay.
where your body is attacking your thyroid.
Okay.
And the thyroid starts to produce a lot of thyroid hormones. So you lose weight very fast. And your heart rate goes up, you lose hair. It feels pretty bad. And you waste away
Okay.
end of the day.
So once you got diagnosed, you were able to counter that. I take it.
Correct. So first, there are different ways. You can take medication which stops the thyroid from producing hormones. Then you can do a radiotherapy, which again destroys the thyroid, or you can cut the thyroid out. Germany was at the time in the 90s when I got it in favor to cut it out.
Okay.
Japan was very much on the lifelong medication therapy. The US used radiotherapy. So unfortunately, Germany did the cut. I have since then issues with my neck because it was in the operation, the neck is extended,
Oh.
hyperflexed, and for quite a long time. And I can't scream anymore. So because the vocal cords, the nerval innervation for the vocal cords is running practically around the thyroid. So it's a very delicate operation, and they were pinched back then. So for a few days I didn't have a voice at all. And nowadays, if I go out and it's a little bit louder and I have to be on a raised voice for a while, I can't. So my kids love that because I can't scream
Yeah,
for a long
lucky.
time.
Well, that's a bit of a coincidence, I suppose, being that or does that have anything to do with the fact that you went into endocrinology,
yes.
which is the study of
Correct.
glands and hormones? Okay, so that actually sparked your interest in this
Correct.
field of medicine.
Yeah. So I wanted to be a plastic surgeon.
Okay.
I'm like, maybe a lot of people say, yeah. That's cool, nip tuck.
Yeah, and you had the
Lots
money.
of money, exactly. But luckily, everywhere in medicine is money to be made if you're quite good. But that was definitely the way where I got interested in hormones altogether. And it's such a complex area that you usually don't really look from the outside. So I think that the perception of people is diabetes. That's what hormone doctors do. And they don't think about thyroid, menopause, andropause. That we have actually, before we are entering diabetes already and insulin resistance, which affects everything in your body. The thyroid is a completely underrated organ because it has so many functions and so many ways to influence the rest of the body that is just too complex, I think, for the general public to go into. And this is why it's also not used for influencers. Influencers mostly pick on the insulin, glucose, because that's very, very simple. Two things, easy to understand. You can't eat this, then your insulin goes down. If you eat it, if you doesn't eat, or if you eat too many carbs, insulin goes up. This is simply to explain and to measure.
Right.
But it's end of the day, it's also much more complex than they do it in their shows.
Right.
But the thyroid per se is like, what does it do? It does everything.
So now that you don't have one, how do you supplement that?
Popping pills every morning.
Right.
That makes you survive. Yeah.
So you've been practicing since 2002, if that's not
In private practice.
in private practice.
Yeah.
And I mean, you've got quite the resume with doing research and development of new types of hormonal and cellular
Right,
treatments. 13 patents, 13
Yeah.
medical patents.
Right.
Do you, what do those have to do with? I'd love to hear a little bit about
So
those.
it was a lot of luck, because as I said, I didn't follow the normal path of doing my residency in a regular hospital, but I went to a private hospital where the owner of the hospital was the pioneer of anti-aging. So practically taking endocrine and putting it out of the pathological way where you treat only people who are sick, but saying, so you are going to be sick if your hormones further decline, just like with menopause. We have to prevent it by acting on time, giving you substitutes on hormonal creams, hormonal pills, to bring you to an elevated level of a 35-year-old. So that was the first thought of anti-aging.
Right.
I don't think that it's a good expression. I think preventive medicine is a better one, or regenerative medicine. Well, that's what they called it before. And he was very nice and kind to me, so he became my mentor.
And he was doing this all back in the 90s and the early 2000s.
Yeah,
Wow.
Correct.
So he was well ahead of his time.
Oh yeah, definitely. The very first one was a Viennese professor.
Uh-huh.
So the US made it popular, but the roots are in Europe,
Okay.
in Austria, Germany. And as I said, I had myself the thyroid problem, and wanted to apply for a residency in plastic surgery in Peru, because they had a German hospital there, and it
Okay.
was close to the coast for surfing. So I was like, yeah, that's good. And I saw a TV special about Dr. Klosterhalfen, that's his name. And I was fascinated by this completely new approach to say, so people are healthy, they want to stay healthy, and they can do something about them to be longer healthy. So by chance, 2 hours after I saw this special, I read the medical journal, and there's an ad, anti-aging doctor in Munich looking for assistant. And I'm like, there are not many of these, it must be him. So I sent my resume in, got invited, and when I arrived, the secretary is like, oh yeah, sorry, no, you was a mistake to invite you. You're not qualified for that. You're not a specialist yet. I'm like, yeah, but that was obvious. Yeah, it was our fault, etc. And I'm like, I'm here already, so can I have a chat with him? Oh, he's not in today. I'm like, who is it? I mean, I'm happy to chat with anybody. So I chatted with his other assistant, and he was obviously so impressed that he said, so sit down, I call him. So he came, we had a 5-minute chat, and he's a North German guy, very cool, very not a hearty, empathic person.
Okay.
Although he deep inside he is. I said, okay, let's give it a try. Can you start Monday? I'm like, yeah, sure, absolutely.
There you go.
And then in the beginning I haven't seen him, so can you recommend me some books? Like, whatever.
So back then, how did it differ? Yeah, I mean, we're gonna go deep here, I guess. How did anti-aging therapies differ back in the '90s than they do now? How much progress have we made in the last 25 years?
Incredible progress on different levels. I mean, anti-aging is always, I mean, anything in medicine is firstly diagnostics. And diagnostics have to be very accurate. The more information you have, the better you can adjust the therapy to it, obviously. And the measures that we do in blood about hormones were not as advanced as they are today and much, much more expensive. So blood test back then was really in the tens of thousands if you are speaking in ringgit Malaysian. Now you get it for 2,000. And you have a much broader insight because much more smaller molecules, specific molecules became available to be tested in blood, hair, whatever bodily fluids, and on how we apply hormones. So very in the beginning it was testosterone injections. Some people still use it, although it's really obsolete. Creams, transdermal creams. There the East Germans were very clever. It was developed for athletes to go around the test for anabolics.
Right.
Because if you had the injection, it was in your blood for 3 months and you had no way to take it out or to bring it down.
Right.
And they then found a way to put it into a cream which is going through your skin, entering your blood system, and you apply on a daily basis.
Wow.
So usually you do 2-3 days before the tests are coming. So they stopped it, levels drop, your test is okay, go ahead. You look like you might take steroids, but no, test came back. And after the wall came down, his company went public and started to produce for the general public so we can prescribe it. So a lot of things come out of these non-legal maybe ways. And very honestly, the little black book from bodybuilders helps us a lot because these guys consciously taking dosages that would not go through any ethic commission in a university study.
Right.
Because they're definitely far too high and they have negative side effects. But with them, we know where the thresholds are, what side effects and what benefits are coming out. So the time being of us having these data, studying this data in the last 30 years, helped a lot to fine-tune therapies. Then, of course, the introduction of stem cells.
Yeah.
That we, back then, to get stem cells was a very, very, let's say, one-sided way. You had to get the bone marrow. From the bone marrow had to match the recipient because you couldn't clean up the stem cells in a way that you didn't have any other cells. Stem cells do not have an immune property. So it can go from A to B, doesn't matter. My stem cells can go to your stem cells, as long as it's only stem cells.
Right.
But as soon as we mix it with little red blood cells, white blood cells, then the allergic reaction comes. And then that's where you need a match. And the development in the laboratory culture, in the laboratory field, came to that you can then practically take the stem cells, multiply them in the lab, doing different cleaning processes.
Yeah.
So at end of the day, you have practically a very, very singular cell culture, which is only, let's say, mesenchymal stem cells.
Right.
And that you can inject practically in everybody, and very rarely having any allergic effects.
So remember earlier I was telling you about my friend who had that.
Correct.
So you think that those stem cells could have been contaminated with maybe red blood cells that didn't match him?
Yeah, correct.
Quite possibly.
Yeah. Possible, or with anything else. So again, there are too many laboratories which are not CGMP certified, where the batches are not properly tested by third parties. The government in Malaysia is actually very accurate on these things and looking after them. and there are several CGMP certified labs, but there are also many who are doing it on the side, and that's of course cheaper, more profit, and people are not aware of these things. They are not experts, so whatever they are recommended and the price is right, they take. So that's the bad thing about the gray zones
Right.
of stem cell therapies.
From what I understand, the way the stem cells work is you start with X amount of cells, then you kind of culture it, and the more time that you give those cells, the larger in denomination of cells you can get. So it can go from 100,000 to 1 million to 100 million.
Correct.
But do they degrade at all
Yes.
as they multiply?
In the it's called passages. So you
Passages.
have practically the original cells.
Yeah.
Let's say stay with the umbilical cord. Usually you take the umbilical cord.
Yeah.
It has this jelly thing around
Wharton
called Wharton
jelly?
jelly. The Wharton jelly. You are an expert.
I know a little bit.
Yeah.
I've got 2 of them on ice.
So the Wharton jelly is very rich in stem cells, mesenchymal stem cells,
Yeah.
and it's pretty pure. It's easy to get them out.
Right.
So you have, let's say, 60% pure stem cell mix
Okay.
that you put into the petri dish, where you are putting in growth factors so that they are multiplying, as you said, let's say from 100,000 to 1 million.
Yeah.
And then you take them off, put them into the next petri dish. And
Right.
this is already like not 60, but 80% cells.
Right.
That is passage 2. The further you go away, the purer the cell culture gets,
Okay.
but also the efficiency and the health of the cells are degenerating.
Right.
So after passage 5, they shouldn't be used in humans anymore, because then the cells are not really healthy anymore.
Okay.
So passage 5 has, usually I like to use passage 3. You are somewhere where your efficiency is very, very good, safety is also very good, and by applying it, if you are in a hospital surrounding, where you have backup, where you have emergency unit, you have nurses who are trained, even an allergic reaction can be surely handled. If you do it in a beauty salon,
Yeah.
maybe not the right environment.
Right.
So I think that people have to be more conscious about doing altogether medical procedures
Yeah.
in the right environments, in proper clinics, hospitals, where they are offered.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you don't want to go to some quack. Can you explain the difference between mesenchymal stem cells and pluripotent stem cells? Because there's a difference between one of them is
Yeah.
there's a difference,
Yeah.
right?
Omnipotent. So practically, if you have embryonic stem cells,
Okay.
the embryonic stem cells are the stem cells that practically a embryo has between the conception
Yeah.
and the 3rd month.
Okay.
So these are much more potent, as I said.
Yeah.
They can turn into practically every type of cell.
Right.
Now, mesenchymal stem cells, MSC, from the 3rd month on. So it's not after the birth.
Right.
So are called actually adult stem cells.
Okay.
So from the embryonic stem cells, adult stem cells. From the 3rd month on, it's adult stem cells,
okay.
which are then just pluripotent, not omnipotent. Omni, Latin word for everything.
Right.
Pluri is a lot of things.
Okay.
So mesenchymal stem cells are able to turn into bones, the skin, into certain type of tissues in the body. But it's not just that they can turn into these things, but they have a very strong anti-inflammatory effect.
Right.
They have a very strong regenerative effect. And what is also important, that these stem cells are producing exosomes, so messages to other cells. Do this, grow, less inflammation, age less. Many things. I mean, they're literally a huge variety of exosomes.
Wow.
And this is the next step now. So exosomes are very much hyped because they are not living cells anymore. So you can store them. You can use them they're much cheaper.
Exosomes.
Exosomes are much, much cheaper to produce.
Okay.
Because you have practically the living cell, and as long as you keep them nicely, like in a petting zoo, they produce eggs. Eggs are a good example. So chicken, you have a chicken farm.
Right.
You don't. If you have stem cells, you take the chicken and slaughter them and eat them. Nice, good. But hey, then they are gone. I have to produce more chicken.
Right.
But in an egg farm, you have the chicken, and every day you have eggs. And
Right.
you just eat the eggs, not the chicken. So much, much cheaper.
Right. Don't kill the golden goose.
Correct. So that's how it's produced. And now we are using very much the combination, so cells for certain things, exosomes for other things. So, and this is then more or less the know-how of the doctor. So how to use it, when to use it, what combination to use it,
Right.
for which patients to use it, because it doesn't work on everything. Again, I think the right word is stem cells are wonderful, but they're not magic. And something wonderful, you have to know how to use. Again, if I'm sitting in a Ferrari, I won't win a Formula One, no matter how good the car is. You have to know how to drive it.
Yes.
And that's the doctor's work. So you can buy the best Ferrari, you can buy fantastic cells, you can buy 300 million of them, 500 million of them, but it's not used properly, it won't have the effect that you desire. So the first thing, I'm having a quite extensive questionnaire for patients. The first thing is, what do you expect? What do you want to do when you're 90? What do you expect from a therapy? And to manage expectations in a patient in the anti-aging regenerative field is very important. If somebody comes with an open wound, he has one wish: stitch it up, I don't want to die. If somebody comes like two of us most likely, so I want to stay as I am, maybe even a little bit fitter, it's a very different approach.
Right.
Because how fit do you want to be? What are you willing to invest on time, on effort, on money? It becomes very faceted.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds very personal,
It is
right?
very personal.
And stem cells are still relatively new in a sense to medicine, right? I mean, 20
it's not.
years? No,
No.
not
Stem
new.
cells, if you go back, leukemia, again, the bone marrow transplants, these are cell therapies from the 60s, red blood transfusions,
Okay.
which can be used for regenerative, for rejuvenation purposes.
Right.
Absolutely. Going back to the 50s, 60s.
So I guess my question is, though, in using it for anti-aging and regeneration, is there a database, or are doctors making a database as to best practices in terms of, like you were saying, let's say I have a shoulder injury, right? Maybe my labrum is torn or something. You know, does that work best with just stem cells, or stem cells and exosomes? Are we creating this playbook, or is it more of an individual doctor and from his personal knowledge?
Unfortunately, it's more the second.
Okay.
So there are no big studies, there are no big controlled studies, there are no big coordinated studies.
Right.
It's going into I have this experience, and luckily they are talking to colleagues, and you go to conferences, and there you gain maybe insight on that. Oh yeah, that's a good idea, let's try it. It's very much experience-based.
Why do you think that is? Is that because it's preventative health care, sort of, and there's no, I don't know, is there not enough funding behind it for these kind of studies? Is that
Correct.
it? Is that what we're looking? Is that
This is
is that the
definitely
issue?
one of the reasons, because the funding needs to be, the funding comes always with the purpose of, I want to have a profit from the
Yeah,
from the
exactly.
investment.
Right.
I mean, even governments is like some return I have to get.
Yes.
If it's for the general population, for example. Now, stem cells are expensive. And it's not the doctors who are actually earning the most of it, but the labs.
Right.
Which is also fair because it's very, very tedious. The labs have to be certified. They have to go through very regular cleansing. Again, government has to come in, just like ISO, the CGMP certifications are expensive. So it's not for everybody. Government insurances
Right.
will have a very hard time to pay this, especially for regenerative purposes.
Right.
If you look at now, CAR T is a good example. CAR T is a cancer therapy with cells, not stem cells. CAR T are very specific cells that are killing cancer cells,
Right.
simply spoken. And your body is producing them. So we draw blood from you, send it to the lab, these CAR T are extracted, and just as the stem cells are multiplied and then inserted back into your body, amazing results. Unfortunately, not for every type of cancer at the moment
Right.
available, but for very, very few. Cost is like 400,000 US dollars.
It's really expensive. Yeah,
Exactly.
I've heard. Mhm.
Now imagine that it has to be paid by the insurance.
Right.
So I'm sick. I need it. I want it. I have a right to it.
Mm.
The insurance system will be broke within a few months.
Right.
So in this sense, all regenerative, all preventive measures are more or less up to the individual, just like with cars.
Yeah.
Your car broke down, you had an accident, insurance pays, but hey, your monthly checkup on the car, that's on you. And this is why the funding, the big funding, is missing on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is it's definitely a pity. I don't know how to go around it. That's a political question, not so much of a medical
I
question.
mean,
yeah.
it's a shame because I feel like this is the future of medicine, right? Like, how are we
It
going
is
to?
there, yeah.
How are we going to get to? So then, basically, we will be able to have personalized medicine, but it
We are
may
having
not be
personalized medicine.
on a mass scale,
It's on the mass scale as long as you are paying it.
right? As long as
Yeah.
you're paying.
As
But
you are
most
paying.
people can't afford that without insurance, I would think.
That's a very sociological, political question, because in a lot of countries, even I'm from Germany, where everybody's insured. You
Right,
have to be insured.
Right.
You have mostly private insurance, not mostly, but you have a big amount of private insured people. And I've worked in my clinic in Germany always with private insurances. And even these people are like, can you write me something so that the insurance pays? And these people are coming with a Mercedes.
Right.
They have money. But in your head, it's still, I'm insured, insurance should pay for it.
Right.
It's a mentality thing. And I think we have to go away. And this is very, very attractive, I think, or pleasing, that in Asia, people are much more conscious. I have to pay for it. I want something for my health. I buy a smaller car and I invest into my health. So it's more balanced and more targeted.
Yeah, I mean, but healthcare in Asia is also more affordable, and I feel that the insurance companies aren't as powerful here as they are in the
Oh,
West.
definitely not.
Yeah.
Yeah, but to say that it's not more affordable than the US, but not much more affordable than Europe. The pricing for laboratory works, for example, is pretty much the same as in Europe.
Okay.
Yeah. I find it's not a huge difference.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a mentality thing.
We'll come back to that. Let's get back to you.
Yeah. Okay.
So, Doctor, just to give people an idea of your credentials, you went to several different schools, one
Yeah.
including Harvard Medical School.
Yeah.
You have 13 medical patents.
Yeah.
Do you want to expand on any of those? Is there anything that you want to talk
Very
about?
much related to stem cells. So there
Okay.
we had the exosomes. Exosomes is again discovered in the 80s, and 12 years ago when we started to look into it,
Okay.
you Googled it, 500 matches. Now you have 50 million.
Yeah.
So it very much came up, and I think there we were one of the pioneers to look into the effects, and mostly because of fertility and affordability on that. So 5 of these patents are exosome related.
Okay.
I did a lot because I worked together with an orthopedic clinic in Munich, where the knee surgeon was a pioneer in, today we would call it stem cell therapies, back then we called it knee replacement.
Okay.
So he practically, because the labs weren't able to produce stem cells back then, or when then it was extremely expensive and not there. But if you have no cartilage anymore, so complete arthrosis, and you open up the knee, you put little holes into the bone. The bone marrow will come out, and if you are for 8 weeks on crutches, now it's a very simplified thing, then the coverage from this bone marrow on the bone creates a new layer of cartilage. It's an amazing operation.
Just because the marrow gets exposed, and
Correct.
simply by not being able to use it and giving it that.
No,
Explain that to me
it's-
again.
So the bone, practically the bone marrow coming into onto the bone,
Right.
and because of the induction from the surrounding,
Yeah.
says, oh, there's a missing part, which is the
Right.
cartilage.
Yeah.
So I turn into a cartilage cell and
Wow.
build a cartilage.
Right.
Now, why you have to be on the crutches is a more mechanical issue. If you paint something, it needs time until it
To dry. Yeah.
dries, and it's the same thing. The,
Right.
the,
That's
the
what I
stem
thought.
cell needs time to turn into the cartilage.
So you didn't need to, did you need to inject the stem cell?
No.
Didn't even need to inject it.
We couldn't.
That's
there was
fascinating.
nothing from the outside.
Right.
So the next step was actually that
Wow.
we took a piece of the cartilage, and these cells, the cartilage cells, were multiplied on a mesh in the lab, so that the mesh had a cartilage
Right.
cover, and then you had to open up the patient the second time and put these mesh on the bone, and then you had the coverage.
Wow.
But it was much more expensive, and again there were certain regulatory and insurance issues. But I think that company still exists. Now the big problem why in America, I mean, the surgeon was fantastic. He was an amazing surgeon.
Right.
But the surgery per se is not the magical part. It's these 8 to 12 weeks on crutches, which in the US was practically impossible, because in Germany, if you are 8 weeks sick, the doctor writes you
Oh yeah.
a sick note, and hey, for 8 weeks he cannot come to work.
Right.
So whatever, you can't be fired, nothing. Imagine
yeah.
that in the US.
No.
No, in 2 weeks you're back.
Yeah.
If not, yeah, no, you have to drive. Yeah. So,
Right.
so it was also again a social component that made that possible. And he became very famous on that. The clinic was in Munich. Also, the back surgeon was amazing. The reason why I'm in Malaysia is the clinic. The back specialist operated on Anwar, president.
Yeah. Is that Ixin Research?
No,
Okay.
That's Alpha Clinic. It was called Alpha Clinic.
That was in Germany.
That was in Germany.
Right,
Clinic.
because you're the personal doctor to royal families,
Correct.
professional
So
athletes,
this
politicians.
came to that clinic.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and this is also funny because I was the internist more or less, the endocrinologist who has time to talk with the patients. Surgeons don't like to talk to the patients so much, like, yeah, you need the operation, thank you very much, bye-bye. And as the patient is like, what is that actually doing, the operation? And then they come. I did also all the checkup before the surgeries.
Okay.
So he didn't explain to me what I'm getting. Can you do that? So I was the talkative one, and that's why I became quite close with a lot of these patients. And Anwar then practically recommended Tunku Najiha from Negri Sembilan, because she had knee problems, to Germany, to the clinic, and they stayed for 3 months, the whole family, and Tuanku Jafar, who was an amazing person. I mean, he was really one of the nicest, kindest human beings on this planet, came also every day in and chit-chatted, and then when it was time that they leave, they asked, you can come with us to London for a few days, just that you know what to do. And then they invited me to Malaysia for the Formula One, and that was the first time I came here.
Okay.
And then I came very often because it's really an amazing country.
What year was that?
That was 2004.
Okay. Yeah,
21 years.
and now you're spending a lot of more time here.
I'm practically living here. I mean, this is home for me. This
Yeah,
is
and you have your
absolutely
clinic
home.
in Mount Chiara, Global Doctors.
I have an advisory clinic there, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. But I'm doing also a lot of the research. I'm doing business work also in Germany. So the bridge between Germany and Malaysia is a very interesting one, and I think also a very important one.
What is that company, Ixon Research, that you've created?
ISIN Research was a combination practically from Malaysia Life Sciences, which is one of the top level laboratories here in Malaysia. It was a combination of a German company called Mologen AG, which was a pioneer in DNA based cancer vaccines in Germany, and myself. We did research together. Now everybody went its own way a little bit, so ISIN was terminated.
Okay.
Meluha is now listed in New York. Mologen is listed in Frankfurt. And we took our separate patents to the companies. And Mologen developed from there an eye product for age-related macular degeneration with a German ophthalmologist. We did skin, hair, fertility, sexual health patents and products on these, which we are practically now infusing into supplements.
Oh.
Yeah. So doing also not just human stem cells, but plant cells. Plants don't have some people call it stem cells, but I like to refuse that.
Okay.
So it's plant cells, but plants have also very similar exosomes,
Okay.
which are communicating between the cells, and they have excellent properties and very interesting properties, which we extract from these plants and put it into supplements, because you can take them up orally,
Right.
which have nerve regenerative effects, which for the eye are very, very important if you have diabetic maculopathy, if you have age-related maculopathy, or if you have glaucoma.
Yeah, I think I read something several years ago about using chlorophyll. They were putting chlorophyll from a plant into people's eyes,
For example.
and it was really helping. It was helping quite a lot.
And this is also the progress, what you were asking about, since the 80s, 90s to now.
Yeah.
That in very olden times, you had to eat the bark of the willow to have a little bit of an effect on pain.
Right.
And then at a certain time, hey, we can extract the aspirin out of it. So we need just that molecule, nothing else. And it's the same thing, that you have the chlorophyll, which is more of a complex part of it, and it's the greenish part. And we're going down to nanomolecules and say, this has this effect, this has this effect. We want only that, the separation. The extraction of these things is practically what makes it more efficient and has then also less side effects. Because if you eat, again, the whole plant, it has also effects. Wine is a very good example. Everybody who claims that he drinks wine for health because it contains antioxidative properties.
Right.
That's a very, very small part. The bigger part is not so healthy. But if you extract that part, then it's great. Then
So we're getting better than at extraction. We're better getting smaller and smaller nanoparticles out of these molecules and out of these. Okay.
Yeah.
I also recently saw a study where they were injecting stem cells into eyeballs to try and rejuvenate vision.
Yeah.
Is that something?
Again, vision. What is causing the loss of vision? So we have to be always clear about what is the reason for it. Blind turns. We can make blind people see again. There are many reasons for blindness.
Right.
If it's a degradation in the nerve endings in the retina, in the back of the eye, then stem cells can definitely help. If there's another reason for it, maybe not. So
Okay.
you cannot, unfortunately, generalize these answers.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Makes sense. you're not going to fix glaucoma with stem cells.
Correct. Or even cataracts, where
Right.
the lens is turning
Right.
grayish,
Yeah.
and there is nothing. It's an aging process, and it's a very simple operation. It's a 15-minute operation where you change the lens,
Right.
and you see again. So practically in a first or second world country, nobody is getting blind from a cataract,
Right.
because everybody is getting an operation.
But you go to India or somewhere like that, and you've got Mr. Beast performing 5,000 of these operations.
Correct. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
All right. What are your thoughts on Robert F. Kennedy Jr. taking over the CDC and he's been, claiming autism has just shown up out of nowhere. But you have a bit of a different thought on this, don't you?
Yeah. Altogether, I think that he politicizes everything in medicine and uses statistics which are very misleading. Well, first of all, the data that he's showing is 90% usually turns out to be nonsense. And even if statistics are there, statistics are to be read or should be read in the whole context. So very easily, if you go back and say, the average age beginning of the 20th century was 40 compared to 80 now. Now, why was it 40? Because we had a world war where 20-year-olds were dying. So suddenly the mean age came definitely down just because these soldiers were dying, statistically. So if you take that years and compare it with today, you say, oh, doubled.
Right.
Because, we have more to eat, we have better vitamins, but no, it's nonsense. It is because there was a war. The second thing why before we had a survival rate of babies,
Right.
of newborn, of practically in the US or in Germany, of almost 100%.
Yeah.
My grandfather had 12 siblings. Until the age of 10, he was having 3 or 4, I don't remember. Because whooping cough, simple thing, not simple thing like polio, killed every 4th or 5th child.
Wow.
Where we have now easy vaccines and people are now going crazy about, vaccine is harming. So my uncle sits in the wheelchair because of polio. 5 years before the vaccine was available, he got polio and he was a year in the iron lung, etc. He luckily can move his hands. He became a doctor, and
Wow.
is lifelong in a wheelchair. So these people were very happy about. Hey, there is a vaccine against it. Now we don't even know what the effect of these for us non-existent diseases was.
Right.
So that turned again the life expectancy suddenly up. And on autism, we now diagnose a much broader spectrum of people with autism.
Right.
Again, in the 60s, you said so. If you watch, what was it? Madman.
Madmen.
Oh, the guy's an asshole. Oh, come on, he can't behave in society. Da, da, da. Today you would say, oh, he's autistic, he's on a spectrum. You find a definition for him.
Right.
And this is what's happening, unfortunately, now with a lot of things that the current administration in the US is propagating. Is just, if you look deeper into it, it's not medical, but political, and what the big idea behind it is, I have no idea. But cutting research, cutting STEM, which brought a lot of brain power to the US. And until today, the US universities, Harvard, Yale, Stanford, are producing incredible progress and medicine knowledge because of the internationality and because people wanted to research there because there was funds there from companies, because this is also privately funded, not just by the government. but the government made it possible that you enter the US, you get special visas, you can stay for years, etc. If that all is cut, good for Europe, good for Asia, because these people will come back. We just have to make the same environment for them that they can research. And honestly, on stem cells, coming back quickly to that, China is amazing. Chinese research in that field is crazy good. What is not happening is that the Chinese don't even translate it. They are not publicizing it in the Lancet, in the British Medical Journal, because they said, so why should we?
Right.
We have our own little universe. Fantastic. We provide for our people, and it's not necessary to go public. If they want to know it, here, you can read it in Chinese. You can translate it for yourself, but we are not necessarily doing that.
Didn't something happen several years ago? There was a doctor that was arrested or at least ostracized from the medical community for quite some time. But it wasn't. I don't think it was stem cells. It was DNA manipulation in babies that were China could be on the cutting edge as well.
That was
yes,
CRISPR.
yes.
That was the CRISPR.
It was a CRISPR, right?
CRISPR technology.
Yes.
You practically are cutting certain genes out to make. I didn't know it was HIV that the person became practically resistant against HIV.
Yeah, and they said that there could have been some side effect that may have made the child or those kids that were affected a bit smarter or higher IQ, which is fascinating. Do you think that is something that we're going to see more of in the future?
CRISPR? Oh,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Not just preventative healthcare, but this is preventative everything from inception, essentially, right? Like you can prevent disease, from inception, and that's something.
Absolutely. Very, very fascinating.
Yeah.
And also because of the complexity, and this is why he was more or less ostracized, as you said, or ethically shunted.
Right.
Was thought you have no idea what you are kicking off. It's like a domino, and you don't know where it ends and what happens in the middle. But on the other hand, research is like that.
Yeah, I mean, we're basically doing that with AI right now.
Yeah, exactly. We have no idea where it goes to,
Right.
how it develops on its own.
Exactly.
And I mean, life on planet Earth was always an experiment. We lived in caves, and the fire outside, which can destroy everything, it also helps us a bit. Let's try it.
Right.
I'm sure a lot of people died by trying to master the
Burn down their village.
burn it, kill people. But progress needs also risk. So there is, and as I said before, with the little book of the bodybuilders, as ethically questionable it is good data for us.
Right.
And if we go there, Second World War, German concentration camps were horrible. I mean, there is no words how horrible these experiments were. But the data medically is helpful in certain ways. I'm definitely not saying that it should be done that way or something, but at least use it. At least this should be in some way having a purpose, maybe helping other people. And on CRISPR, I have no opinion, but I think it's a very exciting thing and will be helping a lot of people if we are mastering it better.
Yeah, indeed. So why don't we get back to anti-aging, longevity treatment, preventative health care. So if I want to live to 100, what do you think is the best way to start? What is the best way for us to start trying to get there to live to 100 years old?
That you go every year for a checkup, a very, very intensive checkup. Not the manager checkup that the hospitals are offering, but a much more in-depth, much more individualized checkup to discover any chronic disease in a very early stage. Because every chronic disease that we have can be, or most, can be very, very well be handled in an early stage. If you have arteriosclerosis of your heart vessels, you put a stent in, it opens up, and you can run a marathon again. You get a bypass. If you discover diabetes in an early stage, you get medication. Hopefully, you don't need a medication because you're smart enough to change your lifestyle, and you can do without medication. But for everything, we have actually good therapies, which again is costly.
Right.
So work that you have money that you can invest into health is maybe one of the basic things. And then, so this is for longevity.
Right.
Because you can be genetically predisposed for this heart disease. And no matter how fit you are, no matter how well you eat, you still can get an arteriosclerosis because of your genetics. So you have to look for it. The second thing is then obviously lifestyle. So lifestyle doesn't mean to be extreme. Everybody thinks, oh, I have to run a marathon every month, or I have to eat super clean, no McDonald's, nothing there. This is also not correct. You see, if you do it, I think what you said before, moderation.
Right.
Moderation is the right thing. Exercise regularly. You don't need to lift thousands of kilos. You don't need to run a marathon. But I think 4 hours is at the moment the gold standard. So cardio, 4 hours a week. Do some exercises so that you can lift things, so that your muscles stay in shape. Do a little bit of stretching. Eat in moderation. Again, I don't want to go in any direction if it's paleo, vegan, vegetarian. If you eat in moderation and provide the body with enough macro and micronutrients, you will have a good cell function. So end of the day, we come down to cell function anyway.
Okay.
Mitochondria, endothel, all these cells have to work on at least 80% level to function for a long time. Yeah.
So, okay, so then I guess we're talking about cells. We can start talking about senescent cells,
Yeah.
right? And what about fasting and autophagy? Is that something that...
Fasting is a very fascinating area, because there are definitely many studies that fasting helps you to... I'm not sure about longevity again, because there the studies are not long enough.
Right.
How long, but caloric restriction, not zero calorie, not fasting in a sense that you are on 0 calories, but that you have a caloric restriction on long term,
Yeah.
showed to be until today the only proven anti-aging measure. So cold baths, meditation, etc., whatever you go into, these are nice things, but there are no big studies about it.
Okay.
But caloric restriction, there are, and it helps. Fasting, if you are really doing the fasting for a week, whatever, I'm not a real expert on that. So that is also helpful with a lot of chronic diseases.
Okay.
Arthrosis, diabetes, definitely helpful. There are very famous fasting clinics, especially in Europe, Germany, Austria, Mayakur, etc. These are going on for ages, and also almost all cultures have fasting periods. So they have seen the benefits of it in a very, very early ages. So I think a lot of proper fasting. I don't think that you should not take up fluids like it's done during religious fastings sometimes. I think that fluids should be okay, not so much food. And if you practice it under supervision, it's very good. The problem is, again, can you do that? Can you do that beside your work? Because if you're stressed, I need something. Food is of course addictive.
Right.
I mean, we're living on food. It's like, I want to breathe. Hello. And it gives us comfort, and it's there, and it's, oh yeah, I'm feeling better. So you have this psychological relation. So if I eat, I'm feeling better. doesn't matter if it's chocolate or steak. It has so many components. It's very, very difficult for people to restrain from food. I think that's the big problem.
I found it fascinating. I did a 4-day fast once.
Wow.
With water. Of course, I drank water, and every once in a while I would supplement with some electrolytes. But for the most
that's very
part,
important.
no food. And the first 24 hours for me was the hardest.
Yeah.
But then after that, I noticed something unbelievable. My senses were dialed up to 11. Like my smell, when I was walking through the mall, I could smell a burrito from 200 meters away.
Yeah.
You know, I could hear things clear. And I think that has to do with some ancient hunter instincts, you know,
Absolutely,
coming back, because your body just becomes alert, like you need to eat, and you're on the hunt. But I found that after 2-3 days, I wasn't that affected by it. I felt okay. I even played golf and did quite well, you know. But and I felt great. I lost some weight, you know, and then I went back slowly with a bone broth. You know, I didn't want to ease into it, but I found it to be quite an interesting exercise, and I wanted to at least do it once a year if I could, you know, after the holidays or something. Yeah.
And could you?
I haven't done it since.
You see, that's the problem.
It takes a lot of discipline.
Discipline, and again, you are with the family.
Yeah.
How do you explain? I'm not
Exactly.
going to eat the next 4 days.
Yeah.
But the kids should eat, and then they have some pizza. Oh, it's so nice. Okay, I sit down and just have a piece. So it's a very difficult thing, and that's why I think this cultural or religious fasting periods are sensible, because then everybody has to do it more or less.
Right.
So you have a peer pressure to do that. So it's a cleansing time. It's a meditational time. So I think that the original sense of Ramadan, that you rest, that you are going into yourself, you're with yourself and the higher being or with the family, is good. I think we don't do it properly today.
Right.
Neither here nor in Europe. And this is why these clinics, or that you are going for a retreat somewhere where you do it, where you are alone, where you don't have the influence from outside, makes it simpler.
Yes, it helps.
Much simpler.
Definitely. When I did it, I only had one child, and he was like 2 years old, couldn't really speak.
Yeah, then
so
it's
it was much easier, and it was COVID. so it was easier to do.
Definitely. Yeah.
But I agree. I mean, you look at even some of these Hindu festivals, like before they get ready to do something very difficult, they prepare by fasting.
Correct, yeah.
And then they go into this meditative state. When I went to the Hindu festival at Batu Caves, right? You could see that then when they broke the fast, at the end, only after they had completed this very difficult task.
Yeah.
So, all right,
I
moving.
think there are also studies that you have less pain perception of the fasting, which also makes sense in this hunter-gatherer context, where you say, so you need food, you have to hunt, scratches, falling. I still need to go on. It's like, okay, I sit down now, recover here, but like, no bloody hell, there is the deer. I have to go after him. So all these things are not just for you. I think this is a very, very common. The first day is horrible. Second, third day starts to become easy, and then you get into a kind of an euphoric state.
Yeah.
And I think from there it goes then down, because then you go into starvation.
Right.
So after the 7th day, you should get something to eat, and you should find. Otherwise, it's getting a little bit difficult for you.
A little bit crazy. Yeah. Right. So we talked about starvation. I want to go back a little bit to the the American society, being from the United States, and we were talking about a little bit what they're doing with the CDC and the health clinics, right? If you go back and you look at photos of Americans from the 1950s, 1940s, 1960s even, they were thin, they were in shape. But now we have an obesity problem. We also have an obesity problem here in Malaysia. We also have a diabetes problem in the United States. We have a diabetes problem here in Malaysia. Now, do you think this is something that comes alongside with capitalism? Because there isn't really one in in Europe. There's not a big obesity
Oh,
problem
yeah,
in
yeah.
Europe, is there?
Maybe not as big, and it's not so propagated.
Right.
But definitely, if I think every so-called first world country
Yeah.
has an obesity problem, an overeating problem. Because
Right.
food is absolutely accessible. It's a lot of processed food, that's also true. I mean, and the variety is crazy. It's very cheap. It's very, very cheap.
The worst food is the cheapest food.
Yeah, but it's also the tastiest.
Right.
So, yeah, it's definitely a problem that has developed, and there is no answer to that. In my opinion, education would help. That you go into the schools and teach kids from the beginning. So look, we have a problem with diabetes, and this is what it does to your body. And if your parents are there, tell them they shouldn't do this, they shouldn't do that, because I listen more to my kids than I listen to my parents, obviously. And if they are, I don't want you to die, I don't want you to get sick, daddy, blah, blah, blah. This is maybe not good. Maybe they change. But if you look at organic food, which is great, and people who eat organic are already health conscious. If you look at the American or European vegetarians, they're not just Indian vegetarians. Indian vegetarians, I know so many Indian vegetarians who are very obese.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's not the food that they are eating, but the amount of food that they are eating. And again, a European vegetarian is already like, oh no, I'm eating this, I'm exercising, I'm meditating. It's a lifestyle altogether. So in the US, food is just sense. Everything is supersized because hey, I have a bigger pizza for less money.
Right.
And I have to eat it up.
Well, here in
the face.
Malaysia, we know food is inexpensive. I mean, you can go to
Yeah.
a mamak and get a protein, a big pile of rice, a vegetable,
Absolutely.
curry for 8 ringgit.
Yeah.
7 ringgit. Yeah.
Everybody can afford it,
Yeah.
and also everybody can afford not to walk.
Right.
I don't see anybody not even exercising but moving. It's if you say, so I live here and there's a supermarket 2 walking minutes from here, people take the car.
Go drive. Right.
Yeah. Do you walk? Really? And I remember that when we first came, we always stayed at the Prince Hotel, which is not a Pullman.
Yeah.
And we came out and said, so yeah, which way do you have to go to KLCC? Yeah, I get your taxi. I'm like, no. We want to walk. What do you mean you want to walk? There's no walkway. Like, how there is no walkway? And there wasn't a walkway. You had to walk on the street.
Yeah.
Now it's very nice. They upgraded. You have the walkways. You have the covered walkways. So they did a lot in downtown. But the mentality of still a lot of people is like, why should I walk? I have a car and it might rain and it's too hot and it's whatever it is. There's always an excuse for it.
Yeah.
So food consumption went up. Food quality altogether also dropped for sure. And movement went down. Yeah.
That's so true. Especially here, because I was in Singapore 2 weeks ago, and we're like, so many people are walking and they're out and about. And it comes down to urban planning. They have covered walkways, you can go underground, they know it's hot, they know it's going to rain, so that the walkways are covered. Even if you go to some of the colonial buildings, like in Penang, for example, you go up there, it's all covered shop lots, so you can walk in case of the rain, right? But in KL, it's not the greatest walking city.
No, definitely.
It has improved. It has definitely improved. That's why, it's funny, when I first came to KL, I lived in Prince Court as well for quite a while.
Okay.
And I would walk to Pavilion and I
Yeah.
would walk to KLCC.
Yeah.
And then I saw they eventually built the overhead walkway that could get you to KLCC, and that was very nice. And then I moved to Bangsar, and I moved to Bangsar because I found that Bangsar was the only walking neighborhood that you could have with Talawi and
Correct,
Bangsar Village.
Yeah.
You could walk around and you can go to small businesses, and it felt like a
Exactly.
nice little town.
It's more local, It's more local.
It felt more local.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Very true.
moving, okay, so yeah, I think that was a very elegant way that you put it. Food quality has gone down, food access has gone up, and transportation has gone down in terms of movement, right? So moving forward, what do you think is the future of healthcare? Where are we going? Now we're in preventative healthcare, right? People are trying to get there once a year, maybe even every 6 months.
Depending on your genetics. So if you
Right.
have somebody in the family, I think the very famous case is Angelina Jolie, who had her breasts removed because she had familiar predisposition for breast cancer.
Yeah.
I think that's an extreme measure.
Right.
And psychologically, I think it's also something that you have to be able to cope with that, and you have to be also able to practically build up the breast again, which is operations and costly. But all in, I think it's going to be more individualized. That's what
Okay.
you started before. So everything should be individualized, and that has to do with affordability.
Right.
And the more people do it, I think the more affordable it will become, and with AI will help a lot. Because at the moment you need a doctor to even screen you. Let's say pap smears. Pap smears is a very, very good example for it. So practically to discover in the ladies if there are any cells which are turning into cancer cells. So you do a pap smear, you're sending it in. A pathologist is looking at under the microscope, says, okay, yeah, that's normal, that's not, that might be, we have to follow up. But it's one guy. Now there are already AI programs. You can say, so, okay, this AI is looking at it and saying, this might be. So out of 100, 25 are might be, the rest is clean. So you already just have to look as the pathologist of 25 and not 100. So much less time.
Yeah.
And this will be a lot of people are afraid of the AIs. But the AIs will help in this context a lot to give the experts more time to look into the questionable results and not waste time with the very clean and very clear, not problematic results.
Right.
Yeah. And also to follow up with people. At the moment, if you, I mean, I'm seeing very little patients. I'm giving advice to maybe 4 or 5 people a month.
Okay.
Because they can afford me.
Right.
But if you are a regular GP who has to see 30 patients a day, plus 30 plus patients, you don't have the time to call them up. So, hey, did you follow my advice? Did you exercise? How is your food? Oh, yeah. And then you can give them a little bit of motivation. You can push them. So at the moment, the doctor can't do that.
Right.
So you need either an organization where the nurse is doing it, or you employ health advisors or whatever you call them. Now the AI can do. You just tell this patient has to be doing this per week, and you can control them with variables. You can see, did you move that much? Was your sleep good? How can we take on the sleep? What did you eat? This continuous glucose measure devices. Amazing. And it's a pity that practically it's said very often, no, only when you have diabetes you should use it. No, please, everybody can use it. Because it helps you to see, oh, if I eat this, my sugar goes up like that.
Right.
If I eat that, maybe it's just slightly going up, and then stays up there and then comes too late down. So you can adjust your lifestyle and eating habits to it. But that, the basic for that is also the patient's own responsibility and interest in these things. If somebody comes and just give me a pill, I don't want to care about my health. Give me something that the pain goes away. If I die, whatever. I want to enjoy my life. That's then also somebody where very honestly I'm like, okay, go away. That's then your problem. I don't want to force you for something. But in an insurance system, they should be punished.
Yeah.
Because he is costing,
They'll be more
in a later
expensive.
stage, these are the expensive people who have for 40 years high blood pressure, who have diabetes with a lot of medication, and then the current administration, to come back to that, says, so, the root cause has to be changed. The root cause is his mentality, that he doesn't want to follow exercise. He doesn't want, and the government should teach them, not the doctor. The doctor is there for something more than you should exercise and eat less. Sorry, that's not medical work. That's basic knowledge.
Common sense.
Common sense is an even better word. Sorry. that should be common sense. And if you want to escalate that, even better, get the rest of the 20%, is what I see as anti-aging, is then where the doctor comes in. You already did everything on the lifestyle side, maybe on the vitamin side. Then I can come in with specific infusions for automolecular ingredients, with stem cells, with add-ons, with measuring things that you cannot measure because a lab needs to be done, and the knowledge needs to be there how to connect. It's not just plus and minus in the blood test. Oh, this is bad. It might be not bad, you're just a little bit out of the range. So it's know-how that comes then in. And this is something that the AI won't be able to replace very soon. And this personalized one, also to see, okay, this patient is very good at following things. He has a motivation, but has a genetic predisposition. We still have to look every 6 months if he gets a prostate cancer, because he's highly at risk for it. To another person who doesn't care, eats, and doesn't have the risk. You come once a year for prostate check, is more than enough because you are not at risk.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, the AI in healthcare is a very interesting thing. It frees up a lot of time for doctors, like you said. I mean, particularly now, they're seeing very good results in the radiology department.
Yeah.
Right. For
Right.
detecting specific types of cancers,
Everything.
everything. The problem is, I think the regulatory system isn't going to be able to keep up with how fast AI is moving, because the approval process is almost 3 years for some of these things. And it's because I'm on the board of a med tech company in the United States, and we're creating we're creating an X-ray machine that can essentially become a proxy for a CT machine and an MRI machine. So it'll be able to create images equivalent to an MRI and equivalent to a CT, but by utilizing X-ray. And they're utilizing AI for some of these processes. And it's all going to come down to approval process and how fast we're going to be able to keep up. No matter how good technology gets, I think you're right. It comes down to the person at the end of the day, because it's almost like an addiction, right? Like if somebody's on drugs, you could tell them until you're blue in the face that it's going to be bad for you, you have to get rid of it. But at the end of the day, it has to be their choice. They have to do it. They're an adult, right? But it probably comes from the beginning. Education is the most important thing. Teaching these kids how, like you said earlier, how important food education is and fitness education, right? And the society that we're in today, it doesn't seem like they've been pushing that so much on our kids.
I don't think so. I think that more and more people are interested in healthcare and what they can do themselves. I mean, the trend is to biohacking, influencers. Has a bad side, but has also a very, very good side. I mean, the increase in healthcare podcasts in the last few years, especially, of course, during COVID. I mean, you had nothing to do. You listen to Huberman, Peter Thiel, whoever you take, and whatever opinion you have on them, it was very, very helpful. Because people got interested. People get a certain idea, and this what lacked in education before, they are getting from there.
Right.
And again, we can talk hours about was this show good, or is he doing it for money or not? Who cares? As long as it's out there and people are going for it, it has a positive effect on the total healthcare. Because it motivates them to do something. Maybe it's not optimal, but it's better than nothing.
No, I think you're right. I mean, these music festivals now have essentially become wellness festivals.
Yeah.
My friend John Langan, who I've had on the podcast a couple of months ago, he works with Babel Fitness. They just held a wellness parties. It was called Coldcella, where they had the biggest cold plunge, and they had saunas, and they had
Crazy.
yoga and meditation, and it was all like a
Great.
wellness party.
Absolutely amazing. You see, I don't think that people don't want it. I think people are like that. Of course, it's not 80-90% of people, but you will never have for anything that much.
Right.
And there is no way to convince everybody. But I think we are doing a good effort. I mean, just alone this talk maybe motivates a few people to look into other podcasts, or cut down on food, or buy a tracker like the watch,
Yeah.
and see, oh, how many steps do I actually do? How is actually my deep sleep? How is actually my REM sleep? Oh, what stem cells? Never heard of that. Let's Google it. So the access to knowledge today is amazing.
Oh, I agree.
It's absolutely amazing. And I mean, of course, we complain that the kids are being on their iPads the whole time. But my son is now, since a year, totally into Formula One and cars. The knowledge that he has about it is crazy.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
crazy.
My son, like at 7 years old, by the time he was 4 years old, he knew every single car brand. You know how many years it took me to accumulate that knowledge? He was able to do it in 6 months by a YouTube video.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so they can accumulate a lot of knowledge very quickly. They have more
Correct.
access to any information than we ever had, right? They don't have the experience because that doesn't come with that comes with time and making mistakes. But so from a mental aspect, they have more knowledge, and physical. I think you're right. We're producing. There's always been people who worked out from a young age, right? Even back in the 50s and 60s, like Jack LaLanne and you know, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and as you know, went on, Billy Blanks, right? But now I feel like on a larger scale, these guys are going to the gym, they're working out. I mean, you see these young kids, a lot of them are in really good shape.
Correct.
Like on a bigger scale than ever before.
And even at home. So again, coming back to the YouTube videos, there's so much content on. You don't need to go to the gym.
Right.
You do it at home. Push-up, planks, bar is enough to get into shape.
Yeah.
So that's a fantastic trend. Fantastic trend.
All right. So speaking about biohacking, I got to ask you, what do you think about this guy Brian Johnson? You know, the number one biohacker.
Amazing businessman.
Yeah.
Amazing businessman. So he took practically an idea. So I'm a layman. So how can I make money out of healthcare?
Right.
So the first step was already crazy. I spent $2 million
Right.
because I want to be in a better shape, etc., etc. First of all, if you break down what he's doing, it's far away from $2 million.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's never $2 million, but it was very well planted. And if he says, "Oh, it's 100,000," then it's like, "Hey, I spent 100,000 too." I had a colonoscopy and things like that. Enough for 100,000. So it had to be a big. He had also the means to plant these news into the right channels. And if you see what he's doing now, he's selling the healthy chocolate. Getting endorsements from this and that clinic, so it was very well planned in my opinion. Again, if people get pushed into the right direction, great.
Okay.
Whatever he says medically, I rather close my ears on most of the things.
Okay.
Especially on stem cells, he went to a Dominican Republic or Grenada, somewhere close to the US, 300 million cells. So medically, I don't think that the clinic is really doing that.
Okay.
Because it would be stupid.
Okay.
It would be completely stupid.
Is that too little or too much?
Too much in one session.
Okay.
Far too much in one session.
Okay.
Injecting stem cells in a healthy joint, also not advisable.
Okay.
Not in that amount. So all in sounded very much again like this 2 million.
Right.
We have to bring up big numbers.
Right.
Or 300 million. I mean, everybody would like 300 million cells. Wow, that sounds a lot.
Right.
Yeah. So the typical American, so we have to World Cup or World Series. So hey, it's just in America, in the US, not even everywhere else. So we have to exaggerate to get attention.
So what would be an ideal number then for an IVF, or not an IVF, excuse me, for an IV doing stem cells in a healthy person? Like how many stem cells?
Again, experience-wise, we're recommending now 50 million and another 50 million within 3 months.
Okay.
For regeneration.
Okay.
Showed very, very good effects. 100 million in one go showed that a lot of the cells actually died. So we are conditioning the body for a balanced second round, more or less. And in diabetic persons, we are recommending 20 million, 20 million, 20 million for 1 year every 2-3 months, showing also a better effect than just 1 or 2. So it comes again to the individual problem that you are having. If you're a lady, menopause, premenopausal ladies, very, very good effects with stem cells to push menopause out. If you are coming in the stage where you're still having your menses, there we are not just doing IV, but recommending also for ovarial injections of stem cells. Very, very nice effects.
Can that delay menopause?
Yeah.
It can. Okay.
Completely.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Now, with these stem cell protocols, I lost my train of thought. I need some stem cells.
Not sure it helps.
Right. I need more than that. All right. So moving on then, I guess from the stem cells, there's also, what about testosterone therapy? I had a doctor in here a couple of weeks ago. He runs men's health clinics, and they were talking about andropause.
Yeah.
And how it's kind of, whereas menopause is like a wall that women hit, and men is more of a gradual decrease,
yeah.
right? So what kind of protocols are you looking at for men to kind of regain their, to try to off-put that andropause?
Very complex.
Okay.
So again, there my opinion, not locally, but also in the US. US is now very popular. Testosterone in your 30s.
Yeah.
More muscle, more sex drive, all these things, which are not necessarily there.
Right.
So sex drive is also depending on your partner, on your stress level at work. So many multifactorial things are coming in for that. That's just because you have a low sex drive might have nothing to do with testosterone. And they are giving testosterone without checking, or even just checking just testosterone, which is by far not enough. It's a very complex area where testosterone, if you are obese, even a little bit, in the fat cells there's an enzyme called aromatase, which turns testosterone into estradiol, into the female hormone.
Yeah.
So that's why very big guys are having these man boobs.
Right.
And these are not just fat, but these are literally man boobs.
Right.
If you give this guy testosterone state slightly goes up, but estradiol will go up. So the desired effect that you want is not coming. There you have to give either an aromatase blocker, which blocks the turnover from testosterone to estradiol, or you give him something that he loses weight first.
Right, that's what I wanted to ask you. Okay, now I remember my train of thought. So I was going to say, do you have protocols that a patient should do before getting stem cells through IV injection? Should they do anything to prepare themselves for that?
Getting a healthy lifestyle. So if somebody comes, let's say, where obviously the guy has the means, financial means to afford it, but doesn't have the motivation to invest time and effort into a healthier me, I refuse.
Okay.
Not because I'm so nice, but because end of the day, it will be my fault if he's not succeeding. Because nobody says, "Oh yeah, I didn't really do what he said. I didn't lose weight. I didn't exercise. I didn't sleep better. I didn't try these things. But yeah, he sold me to that and that money something, and it didn't work." So you have to choose your patients as careful as the patients are choosing you. So again, I have the time and the know-how to do these protocols very individualized. So there's nothing. But what is necessary is, if it's for generation, you get a healthy lifestyle, you get the right mindset, and then we can move ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
And then you need a very extensive checkup, you need a very extensive questionnaire, where I then design a year-long therapy which contains stem cells. It's never just stem cells. We are usually starting with conditioning of your body, if there's inflammation, if there's this, if there's that, so that we have a balanced homeostasis where the cells, when they are injected, are finding a nice environment to then not die half of it, because then you lose half of your money and half of the effect. So that's why also the cutting up of the dosages, so that you're getting better, then you get the next dose. You're getting even better, getting the next dose. And the hope is actually that when you are getting the stem cells, that they don't necessarily turn into any other type of tissue or cell, but they just replicate.
Right. Because if you have a lot of inflammation, for example, then the stem cell could inflame that more, right? If it's not done properly, or no?
No, the stem cells won't inflame more.
Okay.
What the stem cells can do is for example, increase your blood pressure. If they're injected in a bolus in too fast, it can cause an embolism. Because these are cells.
Right.
So you are practically making your blood with cells more concentrated, just like everything else. If it's too concentrated, might not stick together, might not flow properly through. Again, increases the pressure, so that's why it's also how fast you are injecting the stem cells is important.
I've never done stem cells, but I heard somebody on a podcast say that after they got the IV, they felt very tired, like they needed to rest. It felt as if their body was working towards, I guess, improving or getting better. Have you found that? Have you found that with
Some
patients?
people are extremely tired. Some people are extremely hyper.
Okay.
And this, actually, I find more people are hyper in the first night than tired. I have no real explanation for that. My thinking is, first of all, they get a vitamin infusion at the same time. So that might be also the high level of vitamin C, glutathione, which are energizing. Secondly, the exosomes. So when the cells entering your body, they are for the first 10, 14 days in your lung circulation. So they're not going anywhere. So they're not doing anything on the energy level. So the cells are unlikely to do anything on the energy levels. But the exosomes that they are sending out, it might be like, hey, we are in a new environment. Hey, let's send some messages. Where are we? What do we do? Grow. That's my medical guess, but it's not a fact.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
All right, I want to talk about fat, for example, like different types of fats, right? So you have this visceral fat, and then you have people are talking about brown fat, which is good fat, apparently. Can you shed some light on this at all?
Visceral fat, abdominal fat.
Yes.
I know. The brown fat and white fat, that becomes very, very alternative medical.
Okay, good, because I have no idea what they're talking about when they're saying brown fat.
It is very sexy with the cold, the cold plunges.
Yeah.
They are relating it then to brown fat, and then you're building down more white fat. No idea. Again, there are no studies, and the cold plunges are, if you take what is now very popular with these tubes you can buy for hundreds of thousands of dollars. These cold plunges.
Yes.
Europeans, especially Finns, Sweden, Norway, doing this for thousands of years.
Right.
And it's not just jump in and go down, but you have the heat, then you have the cold exposure, then you have the heat, the cold exposure in a certain manner and a time. But if you do a sauna and then go out and take a shower, it doesn't look good on Instagram.
Right.
On Instagram, it looks good if you have a tub with ice and you can see the ice, and then you plunge in and everybody's like, oh yeah, that must be cold. So it's more visually sexy, but health-wise, no, it's not. And the way how you expose your body to cold, starting on the opposite side from your heart on the feet, and getting the cold up on that side, so working towards the heart makes also sense because your lymphatic drainage, your veins are closing them down, pumping more into the direction of the heart instead of just plunging into the cold water.
Okay.
So these cold showers, in the way that Kneipp was a very famous in Germany, was a monk, and he developed a lot of alternative therapies, walking on little stones, on cobblestones, for example, or going with your feet into ice cold streams, etc. So something that we do already now, or just eating certain foods.
Right.
150, 200 years ago, something like that. And now it's getting popular again. Especially cold. I love cold plunges. I mean, it's cost me 70 ringgit. You buy the tube ice, put it into your bathtub, and then you do it with. I do it with a little. What do you call it?
Oh, okay. Like a little bucket. Yeah.
Bucket, and then plunge. I never plunge my head.
Okay.
So that is the brain. It's actually very, very the most sensitive organ for cold. So that's why if you go into survival camps, the first thing that you say, if you are exposed to cold, cover your head.
Right.
Because there is no fat, there is no protection for that.
Okay.
So that's very, very important. And I find the cold, all the studies, Wim Hof, no matter who you look at, it's not always the cold that helps you not to miss work. It's the mindset. People who can stand this, I go into the cold. Also the people who are like, yeah, I'm coughing, but hell, I have to work and go there. So you have to look deeper into the studies than just, cold plunge is very, very helpful.
I have a cold plunge at my house,
Amazing.
and I bought it from my friend at Rise and Plunge. He's got a couple of outlets around KL, and that's exactly what I feel about it. In terms of, it's more of a mental hurdle that you overcome, and it makes you mentally strong. But not only that, it kind of also releases endorphins and a little bit of adrenaline. So you feel, when you get out, you just feel very, very alpha.
Superman.
You feel like Superman.
I never had Coke. I'm too afraid of these things.
Right.
But this is how I imagine to be on Coke. When I come out of this ice cold and 3 minutes sitting in this 5 degrees water, I feel like, wow, anything goes.
The chest is popping out,
like,
right?
Do that. I love when my kids stand there, so wow, and they did not 3 minutes, but they went in, and they are also so proud of themselves. Wow, I can do that, and it's amazing.
Yeah, so I think it's, from a mental standpoint, mental clarity, it's a good way to start the day.
Yeah. And again, you're like much more like, the first time you go in, it's like this is gonna be hell, and then you know, okay, it's gonna be and it's every time bad. I never reached a state where like, hey, I go in.
Yeah, no.
Every time it's like, let's do it. Don't be such a.
Yeah, you have to mentally prepare yourself.
Correct. Very much.
But this is interesting, though, what you said earlier, how you should start with your feet and then go in slowly because it restricts your veins and it helps with the lymph nodes. That's fast, because sometimes I go in, I put the feet in first, but then I just go all the way in up to my neck.
Yeah.
Right? But do you think it's better to go slowly in, or?
If you go slowly in, so the into the bathtub, is different from the shower.
Yeah.
So I love when we are in Germany and we have cold water and I can do the shower thing.
Right. Right.
Because it's really different than if you go with both feet in and then you go down. I don't have the extreme high that I have with the shower,
Okay.
very honestly.
Yeah.
So I love the shower thing. And I looked at, there are certain companies doing the practically air condition for the
That's
water.
interesting. I haven't seen that.
15,000 euro.
Oh yeah, it's expensive.
Yeah.
Because here you can't get cold water.
Exactly. That's the whole thing why I'm buying this tube ice
Right.
and do the plunge
Yeah.
instead of the cold shower. Yeah.
So my friend's selling these. He's got tubs, and then there's there's a compressor, kind of
Yeah.
like an air conditioner that you
Keeps
plug
it
in and you
cold,
do it.
yeah.
I think he's like 10,000 ringgit or something like
But
that.
imagine, I mean, I'm buying it for 70 ringgit.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
It's a lot of.
But for one go, right? 70
Yeah,
ringgit
yeah.
for one
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
So
I
70.
do it weekly twice, so
Yeah, yeah.
I still way to go for the 10,000. You have to maintain it. You have to have the space. I knew some
This
people
is
who
true.
buying it, and they were like, "Yeah, I'm not using it. Takes up space. So do you know anybody wants to buy it?" So again, but it's already that you are buying one. It's a motivation.
Right.
So it's great. I think it's great. Or
And
you
you-
buy a 10 time. I think he has also this
Saunas.
outlets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could just go
Going
to the
there.
outlet, right?
Just going to the outlet. And if you did it 50 times and you know I will do it 3-4 times a week, and go ahead and buy one.
Right, right.
If you stick to it. Same with any other sauna, infrared, EMS suits, whatever. Try them out first. See that if it's something for you. Or find something else where you mentally, I mean, sauna is the same, exercise is the same. If you're doing 2 hours of exercise, yeah, you feel like it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy.
No,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So at the end of the
It's an
day,
effort. Yeah.
it puts you in that mental state of
Correct.
trying to be
Yeah.
healthy, being healthy. Yeah.
Or achieving something.
Right.
That's don't leave the mental health aside. That is something that we very much should take into consideration because it takes a lot of mental strength to stay healthy.
Right.
Because again, we are nature, we are lazy. We love food. Anybody says different is a liar.
Yeah.
So to overcome that temptation takes a lot of strength, mental strength, and to keep the consistency of doing it for a long time. I mean, chapeau to everybody who does it.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, try staying on a diet for more than a couple of months. It's not
Yeah.
easy. It's
Yeah.
tough.
Very, very tough. No matter which type of diet you do. No matter.
This is true.
Yeah.
All right. So is there anything else that you'd like to add, Dr. Gabriel Salgo?
Again, I think we covered everything. The basic is that you have a motivation to get healthy. And then you can go into the details, and whatever details you go into, you will find, does it help me? Is it something that I'm not really, not helping me at all, or my health goes even worse? So do checkups, do consult with people who have expertise, but otherwise just do it.
And if somebody is interested in trying to get in touch with you, how could they do that? Through social media? Through
Yeah. I mean, I'm having a podcast. So that's about health. That has nothing to do with clinic or selling anything. It's just really also just like you, giving out knowledge,
Yeah.
getting people to be interested in healthcare altogether. So on that platform, definitely.
What's the name of your podcast? How can they find you?
Pura Vida Healthline.
Okay.
Yeah. But I think if they put in Dr. Salgo into YouTube or Spotify, they find it.
Okay.
Everything else is so individualized. So as patients, I only take by recommendation.
Right.
So I'm not even really looking to have much more patients. It's more the going out and spreading the health message.
Yes.
What I think is really important and brings people.
Being
Because
an
there are many good doctors out there. I mean, there are fantastic healthcare workers. There are fantastic alternative doctors. There are a lot of charlatans too, but you have to find them and decide for yourself who is who and who did help you and who didn't. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thanks so much for coming by. I
No, thank
really,
you.
really
I found it
appreciate it.
very,
I
very
enjoyed
nice.
it. I enjoyed it a
Yeah.
lot. I did.
Same.
I did. We have to
Same,
get
same,
you on
same.
again, for sure.
Anytime.